I shot the weekly wrap-up a couple of nights ago during a storm, so let's take a look at that. But stick around at the end and I'll come back and answer some of your questions. Welcome to this week's wrap-up. Well, one of my cameras had another accident this week. I'm such a klutz. Here it is. Here it is now. In last week's wrap-up, I promised a video on metering. I posted that video this week as well. Here's an example where I've used center-weighted metering. And it has split the difference, so to speak, of the super bright background and the not so bright me in the foreground. In the video, I explain what metering is, the different types of metering, and I show you a few examples of what the different types do. I'll do a more in-depth video on exposure sometime soon, probably as a part of the SnapChick Basics line of videos. Let's talk about this last week's homework. Water was the subject. I adore the water. I like to be in the water, around the water. I like to drink water. So I loved looking at your images this week. Let me show you a couple of them. Mark Ward posted this image. I like the photo itself. I think it's an interesting contrast to see the sort of gloomy greenish brown background with a snowy white bird. The bird looks so, I don't know, clean and new against the mucky background. It kind of reminds me of that Madonna song, Like a Virgin. Anyway, I also think it's pretty cool that this was Mark's very first photo expedition using his D3100. The first time out with a new camera is always so special. Nicholas Chin Moon posted this photo. I like the simplicity of it and the composition. He used a Canon XSI for this. His camera settings were an aperture of f11, a shutter speed of 1/125th, and a focal length of 55mm. He also shot in RAW and edited this image in DPP. Owen Johnson posted this image. I love alligators. Wait, I love all animals. Apparently this one's eating a marshmallow, which I also love. I like that I can see this guy's, I don't know, chin? I don't know what it's called. The underside of his chompers. It's a perspective that not a lot of us have seen, I think, being almost eye level with an alligator. Well, I suppose we should talk about the hubbub that's going on about this Lytro camera. The idea is that Lytro is going to have a planoptic camera out to the public by the end of 2011. What in the world is a planoptic camera, you ask? Well, a planoptic camera, which is also called a light field camera, uses super fancy technology to capture the 4D light field information of a scene. Lytro is trying to manufacture a pocket-sized planoptic camera for the general public, where you'd be able to choose your focus point in post-processing after you take the photo. Whoa, right? I mean, they've got an interactive gallery on their website where you can click on different areas of the photos to change the focus point. And apparently they also demonstrated their planoptic camera recently at a fashion photo shoot. Photos from that shoot are posted on the model's website, but you can play around with the focus area in them too. There appear to be a lot of skeptics. Some are saying that these photos are a complete fraud. Some are saying that the photos might be real, but that they have low resolution and large file sizes, which make them impractical and just not very impressive. I don't know. I tend to hold my judgment until I've tried something myself. But if nothing else, it is an interesting option. What do you think? Could this be the next big thing? Now for next week's homework. Let's make it something in your home. Yeah, I'm doing all kinds of home improvements at my place. I love making my place my own. So I want you to show me something from your home. I think you can get really creative with this one. And you know I'm going to give extra points to anyone telling me a story about their photo. So post your photos on my Facebook page. Remember, just search for SnapChick if you haven't already found me there. And make sure to write homework or home in the description. As ever, you all have asked thought-provoking questions this week. The first question is from Brandon. He wants to know tips on starting your own photography business. I've answered this question a lot, so here goes. I started out by assisting other photographers for free. I called around and said, hey, I'd love to assist you for free. You know, I'd like to get into the business and I'd love to learn by watching you and by getting some experience. And you know what? Nobody said no. After doing a few weddings with people and getting paid by the primary photographer on their own initiative, I started getting referrals. The people that I had assisted started referring smaller things to me and, dates that they were already booked with other jobs. So I started getting paid more. Then I just took as much work as I could until I was able to quit my day job. Next, Federico asked a related question. He's doing his first photo shoot of a rock band, and he wants some advice on what to bring and how to compose the photos and, just stuff. So, my biggest advice is to remain calm. Bring the things that you're most comfortable with. Don't bring too much to where, you'll be fussing with equipment. Just bring, a versatile camera and lens combination, lighting if you feel you need to, and just have fun. Talk to the band and see what their goals are, just try to get them comfortable too. Depending on what they want, maybe even you can get them to play a bit, that should relax them, or, do something totally different. It's really up to you, but just try to be as calm as possible and just take pictures. You'll do great. The last question comes from Lim. He asked how many dead cameras I have after the pool accidents. Well, the truth is, I only have one dead camera. It's a Nikon D100. It actually had its untimely death a few years ago when I was hiking with it. I was making my way across a creek by hopping from rock to rock, and, well, I slipped. I went one way, the camera went the other. It's a sad but true story. But on the bright side, I get to indulge my dark side by destroying it over and over again. Let's see, how should I smash it up next? Anyway, that's it for this week. Let me know if you have any questions.